All right, Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala Rasulillah, sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Birahmatika arhamar rahimin. Brothers and sisters, we're back again with another episode of Ramadan Bytes. And today we're going to be speaking about being grateful and being ungrateful. That's something very, very important. And being a Muslim, this is a concept of belief and disbelief. There's an amazing hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam where he says, "La yashkurillah man la yashkur nas." That whoever's not thankful to the people is not thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So why is that? I mean, why is the hadith actually related in a way that if we're not thankful to people, we're not thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So basically what it is, when you look at your life, no matter what you see in your life, whatever blessings that we have, whatever blessing that Allah has delivered to you and me, it's done through people. So how did you get your job? How did you find your house? How did you get your degree? How did you do what you do? How did you get to where you are? And no matter what things, whatever thing you pick up in your life, you look at that, and whatever you've been able to do in this world, without the assistance of other people, there would be those things will not be possible. Obviously, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the main doer of things, but you need to understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it possible through people. Therefore, showing gratitude to others is showing gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what it is. You know, you look around yourself, when people do good to you or something good happens to you, it's happening on the hand of other people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not directly coming and delivering that to you. And also in a place, Allah, when He speaks about parents, it's a very different thing. He says, Anishkuru liwalidayka. That's basically saying, be grateful to me and your parents. So, greatest favor to us after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our parents. They brought us to this world, they provided us, they sacrificed their own happiness over our happiness. So no matter what we do in our lives, we can never repay our parents. They always put us first in their lives, and everything came afterwards. So in general, we should be grateful to others. Everyone who is regardless of people do something to us or not, we should always be grateful to others, and being grateful to others is indirectly being grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So basically, if you're not grateful to the people, you're not grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, an ayah comes to mind of Surah Ibrahim, an amazing ayah. You all know that. وَإِذْ تَعَدَّنَ رَبُّكُمْ لَإِنْ شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also tells that, if you give thanks, I will certainly grant you more. And so basically, by thanking, Allah will actually increase our favors as well. وَلَئِن كَفَرْتُمْ إِنَّ عَذَابِ لَشَدِيدٌ. And if you are ungrateful for my favors, then my punishment is really terrible. So Allah, also, no matter what we have, now I want you to think in this way, very quickly. Allah gives you a sense of sakina. No matter what you have, no matter you're not the millionaire of the world. You've got the most mediocre of the resources in your house, but you're grateful to that. And while you're grateful to those resources and that Allah has provided, that brings sakina in your heart, and you're happy with that. And also understand, not being grateful is a sign of disbelief. Why is that? Allah actually talks about that in the Quran. وَقَلِيلٌ مِّنْ عِبَادِيَ الشَّكُورِ. That there are very few from the people that are grateful. So it's kind of like when people have been given so much that we see today, that they're always complaining. And they're always complaining, oh, I don't have much. I wish I had that. I wish I had that. And that's something that we should be very, very careful of. So, and understand, we need to be constantly thanking Allah. We need to be constantly grateful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever our circumstances are, because being grateful will give us that contentment in our heart. Now, finally, one of the things, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam finished the Eid Salah, he actually went towards the women's side and he spoke to them and he said, give charity. Why? Because I have seen you being ungrateful and being more in hellfire. So they asked, why is that? Because you're ungrateful to your ashir, because you deny your husbands and your partners, no matter what good they do, and when they do something wrong, you only remember their faults. So exclusively this hadith was actually mentioned for the women, but Imam Nawawi also says the men are also part of this, because what happens is when we only focus on the faults of other people, the danger is that we forget the favors completely. So basically he was telling the women to, in order to save yourself from hellfire, do charity. That was one other thing over here, but that don't want to go on that tangent of charity at the moment, but just want to keep it to being grateful. So one of the number one reasons today, being a marriage counselor myself and speaking to people, one of the dangers that we find in the marriage, the number one reason that we find in marriage is dissatisfaction, is when people are emotionally dissatisfied. And where does that come from? Now that also comes from when people are unappreciative of the other half of their partners. And also, where does that come from? And the number of one reason where it comes from, there's not enough compliments that they're giving to each other. And where does that come from? That will lead to criticism and judgment. And when a relationship is based on criticism and judgment, that will lead to ungratefulness. So understand, brothers, understand, sisters, being ungrateful is something that we should be avoiding, and that will take us away from our belief as well. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from the people that are always thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and always thanking Allah no matter what our situation is. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this month of Ramadan, make me from the grateful of the people.